A new year brings new opportunities. In today's episode, we're going to show you all three of the enclosures, all of the animals inside of them, and how we take care of them. So with that being said, let's get into the new season of wild vivariums in 2022. We start out the video talking about the newest enclosure to be created in the wild vivarium storyline. The American toads, Navi and Wellsboro, have finally gotten their new home. It had to be a little bit more on the safe side because we're currently getting them tested for parasites, so we didn't want to have to put all the soil, decorations, and plants in and then have to take it out because one of them has a really high load of parasites. This is the first time Navi's lived in an enclosure greater than a 20-gallon, so it's great to see that she's in something that has so much more space. I think she was even a little taken back too. You could kind of see how she was just sitting still like she couldn't believe it. And then in comes Wellsboro, flying out of my hand and doing things the way that he wants them to be done. As you could see, he also looked surprised to be in a larger enclosure than where he was. It's nice to see Wellsboro inside an enclosure that's bioactive, and it's going to continue to get better as we know that the toads have low parasite loads or they don't have any at all. So we've been focusing on testing to see where they're at in the beginning of 2022. One of the most exciting things about this enclosure is the potential for growth. We want to make sure that we're continuously adding on and making things better for these toads because they're going to be ambassador species to help you take care of your toads as well. So continue to follow this storyline as we focus on the American toads and teach you how to care for them. Now for the rest of this section of the video, we focus on the interaction between Wellsboro and Navi, show you some really exciting clips like the lights that are Arcadia T5 bulbs. And I got these light fixtures from Josh's Frogs. You could also find them on Amazon. They look incredible and they fill the entire tank with light. Their low wattage and their low UVB makes them perfect for frogs. I recommend them. I'll have links in the description below. Finally, it's time to check in on the Eastern Gray Tree Frog group, also known on this channel as the Gray Army. Here we get a chance to see some of the updates that I've been doing to the enclosure. The silicone was removed, the fog is rolling in, and just look how much nicer the tank looks. That little white device tells me the temperature and humidity anywhere in the world. It's waterproof, and I would strongly recommend getting it for your animals. I have it in all three enclosures. You can use it on the app and it's so convenient and so easy and so reliable. But anyway, you can see the updates that we were able to accomplish, and it's all been for making the lives of the gray tree frogs better. But we have to make sure that they're doing well, and one of the ways to do that is by weighing the animals themselves. So Bane, our oldest gray tree frog and the most distinct looking, was the first to get weighed. He looked like he was doing fantastic. Next we moved on to Meredith, and she is a big girl. She was rescued and given to us from a Walmart parking lot. She's a staggering 29 grams, which is the size of a small wood frog. She's a little bit overweight, and we've been working with her, and she has been losing some of that weight. But she's also a very spoiled frog. She loves to eat, she loves to hunt, and she's also very trusting. Next, we move on to the wild child of the enclosure, Dante. He's the smallest gray tree frog, he's also the most alert, and he's the least trustworthy, but that's to be understood because he's also the smallest. The smaller the frog, the more stressed and the easier it is to spook them. He's actually a pretty good weight for such a small gray tree frog. He's doing fantastic, and we're keeping our eyes on all of them. As you can see, the enclosure's thriving, all of the plants seem to be doing well, and the animals themselves seem to be thriving. Sometimes the elaborate and more advanced backgrounds that you see people on YouTube create for their frogs isn't always the most practical, and sometimes it's not the best. As you can see, the wood complements the gray tree frogs. This was designed to encourage camouflage and natural behavior to make the animals feel more calm and more at home. We were unsuccessful to catch Melania and weigh her for this video, but we have been keeping up with her, and she's doing fantastic. Whether it be Melania, Bane, Dante, or Meredith, all of the tree frogs are thriving, and we can't wait to see what 2022 has for them. We get another look at where it all started for wild vivariums. The 125-gallon mixed species White's tree frog, Southeastern 5-line skink vivarium. Here we have an awesome opportunity to catch Max. I couldn't figure out where the White's tree frogs were going during the day, but now I have some idea. Max seemed like she found herself a little home inside of her home. I find this to be incredible because you would not expect to see an arboreal tree frog hiding in one of the ground hides, usually. But Max has surprised me for 7 years now, so nothing is out of the ordinary for her. She's just truly an incredible frog, and she's also encouraged the others, I think, to be in there with her. So the White's tree frogs hide in there during the day. The question is, where do the skinks go? This is one of the most spectacular scenes that I could have filmed in 2022 because it's been 3 or 4 years since I've had footage of both Pharaoh and Amzi available for you guys to see within the recent period of time that it was captured. This footage is very important, and also, to answer my question, where do they go, is actually they dig behind the coconut background and they hide in the expanding foam. They've created their own little tunnels so they don't ever come in contact with the White's tree frogs. It's been months and I haven't seen them have one glimpse of each other, which is incredible if you think about it. I was really excited to see Pharaoh. He's on the far left side of the enclosure, and this was the first time in about 3 or 4 months that I had seen him venture away from the pothos. So you can tell just how excited I am now, how encouraged I was then to see that he's actually starting to embrace the whole enclosure. And I hope that he continues to expand and he continues to explore because there's so much room, and maybe he can't even believe that he's in such a large enclosure. While the skinks are active during the day, the White's tree frogs are active at night. Make no mistake about it, this is Max's enclosure. She owns the entire terrain. She takes control of all the food, she bathes whenever she wants, and she does whatever she wants whenever she wants, just to sum it up. You can see how excited she is, how she goes hunting, how she's just so confident in front of the camera. She doesn't seem like she has any fear, and why should she? She's been thriving in our care for 7 years and she knows that we're not going to harm her. So she just goes about her business. Even whenever we're watching her, she just acts like we're not there. Or, I don't know, we really can't tell the mind of Max. Maybe she doesn't care. It could be either or. Everybody has gained weight in quarantine, and Max is no different. She's gained a good bit of weight, and we were wondering if she was going to be a little bit more lazy because she had food coming to her in a smaller setup. However, that's not been the case. We've found that she's been hunting, she's been voracious, and she's back to her old self as being the apex hunter inside the enclosure, and it's truly refreshing and encouraging to see. Max has come such a long way in a short amount of time, and she's back and she's better than ever. Just like clockwork, the night turns back into day, and this time we had the opportunity to observe the female skink, Amzi, who we have very little footage of because she's so nervous and she's very hyper and she's very shy, so getting any footage of her is always hard work. But we were able to capture it, and it's been truly incredible to see how she has even been more active and enjoying the new enclosure. I'm hoping to see her come out and come into her own and show us her true personality whenever she feels more comfortable inside the setup. Well guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Did you like how I filmed all 3 enclosures and talked about multiple animals? Or do you like it when I specialize in one tank and one group of animals? Or do you just not care and enjoy the content? Let me know in the comments or wherever you're watching this from, and we'll see where we can go with 2022. That's going to do it. Please like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. And as always, stay tuned because we have more coming from the wild vivariums in new episodes. We'll see ya.